Hey, hey, hey! Another beautiful night here in the Hooligan Alley Hangout. This is your host, JW Sims. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have some special guests with us tonight. I'm going to have to look at my list because I can never remember anybody's names because I'm terrible at that. That's what happens. But anyways, we have Joseph A. Michael and Jeremiah Stemple with us, and they have a project called Center Ice and Heroes for Causes. So we're going to bring them on the show right now and let them tell you a little bit more about it. So, hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, thanks for coming on. All right, I'm done with the heat. I don't know about you guys, but summer can be over now. I've had my little bit of summer. I'm ready for fall, but I don't know. That's no. I mean, there's bugs there, and heat, and it's heat all the time. So no. I like my snow.
I like my 4 seasons.
Yeah. Well, we don't even get that. We get 2. We get winter and summer. We have like a week of spring and about a month of fall. So that's like I tell everybody, if it doesn't snow by Halloween, we're doing pretty good. So, but we're here to talk about Heroes for Causes and your book, Center Ice. So, we got a comment already. There's Dan. Dan's in the chat. How you doing today, Dan? Dan has an awesome book as well. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. But so tell me a little bit about your. Yeah, my brain just fried again. Sorry. I've had 2 brain surgeries, so my brain kind of like spins every once in a while. About Center Ice.
Jeremiah?
Center Ice is one we did for pediatric brain cancer with American Cancer Society. It's basically a kid who, I think old school like Shazam, like a kid who turns into a superhero, but he plays ice hockey.
Nice.
It's all about, showing just how strong these kids are and helping educate a little bit in some ways awareness. Nothing else to say other than just a little sad song.
So we started this out in 2019 with Pathway, which was our first book. And it had to do with cystic fibrosis. Jeremiah can tell you all about that a little bit later. And it was Jeremiah had this idea of, someone illustrating a concept for a cosplay that he had made. I saw the project, wanted to get involved. Then our artist, who's also co-creator of Heroes for Causes, Donovan, he might be joining us.
Who just joined us. Right
hey, there he is.
Donovan.
Speaking of the devil. Joined up. And then it just was kind of placed on our hearts that we had to do this with more causes. So Jeremiah has been our liaison with, different charities and organizations and stuff, got us linked up with the American Cancer Society. They said, hey, we have a perfect match for you guys. He's an advocate for, sharing his story and trying to inspire other kids with cancer and brain cancer and fighting the good fight. So we said, great, that's a story that sounds like we want to share. We want to amplify that message to try to reach other kids, reach people in the comic book community and give them an inspirational story that they can read and check out.
Very
so
cool. Nice. And so with your Heroes for Causes, then obviously you have Pathways also.
Yep.
And is that also like through the American Cancer Society and just so the people out
Pathways
here
cystic fibrosis, and it was done with Colt Underwood's Legacy Foundation.
Okay, that's cool. Nice. And I'm telling I have my brain is shot. I'm telling you. So is the book finished? Like if somebody wanted to get Center Ice, is it? How much is it completed? Is there a place where they can go to order it, pre-order it? How are you handling that?
It's completed. We're going to print in, I think, a week or 2, I think is the goal.
Nice.
Yeah, I sending back the final letter edits tonight to Robin Jones. He's our letterer on the book. And he'll probably have the final pages back on Monday or Tuesday. And then it'll get approved for press and then hopefully go to press next week. And the plan for the American Cancer Society is that they're going to sell these in their Jeremiah, do you know what they're called? Their retail outlets are called?
I don't.
Discovery centers.
I think that sounds about right.
They have American
sounds right.
Cancer Discovery Centers. They're in like 48 different locations nationwide. And they're going to put the book in there, and then any sales that it generates is going to go directly towards the ACS and funding for their projects and programs and stuff like that. So we're really happy. You know, all three of us are volunteers. We don't get paid a dime from this. We actually invest our own money and our own time. And with Pathway, I think we raised over $1,200 or $1,500 for Colton Legacy Foundation. And we're going to plan on doing a lot more, except COVID happened. So the 4 or 5 conventions that we had planned going to, raising donations and stuff, and then contributing that towards the cause, they got postponed. So we're hoping to get out when the all clear is out, maybe later this year. I think Jeremiah has 2 conventions planned. He did one earlier this year. I think MyCon, was it?
Yeah, I did MyCon about 6 months ago. I'm doing MyCon here again on August 28th, and then another one in Lakeland in November.
Raise some money for both American Cancer Society and the Colton Legacy Foundation. So, yeah, we're just excited to get to bigger shows. Maybe MegaCon is in our near future. That's one of the kind of ongoing short-term goals we have. Keep the 3 core guys together at a convention, bigger convention. We can all hang out, do some nerdy stuff after hours, and then come in and distribute some books during the day and meet some fans and take pictures and have Donovan sketch because he's the only one with any artistic ability. No, Jeremiah has more artistic ability than me, but
yeah. I mean, I got a little bit. Mine's a totally different style. So.
Sorry, I always have the thing. People always tell me that they can't draw. Like I can't even draw stick figures, and I'm like, well, it's still drawing. Like, it's all like they say. It's in the eye of the beholder. I see some artists out there that I'm like, how are these people getting paid? But somebody must have liked it because they're getting paid. So, all right. Well, Donovan here, he hasn't got to say anything. So, how did you get into this? I know they had touched it a little bit, but how did you get connected with these guys with Center Ice?
Yeah, so like I heard Joseph talking when I apologize about being late. When I first got in, Jeremiah was just looking for an artist to kind of do a rendering of his character Pathway. So I jumped on, and then before you know it snowballed. Joseph said, "Hey, I have a story." Those 2 guys who are clearly the brains of the operation said we could do a whole comic book. And I'm like, yeah, let's try that. That sounds good. And it just kind of went from there. They shot out some ideas, I shot some back, and we did some concepts. We got Pathway started, and then they do all the legwork. They got hooked up for Center Ice, and again, same story. We had a genesis of an idea. I shot out some concept work based on their ideas, and we kind of batted it around and we refined it. And then Joseph wrote a story, and I got the pencils done. And I'm very old school. I'm very pre-boomer. Like I mail every technology thing I touch breaks. So I just mail out the pages to Joseph, and he does the whammy bammy, and we go from there with an inker, a colorist, and the letterers. So
nice. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. But I've had to come into at least sending pages digitally, but it took me a while. Like I was kind of iffy about, and I hated it too. I was like, not having. I actually had to go and spend money for a big printer just so I can have a flatbed scanner.
I drag us all the way back into the silver age of comics.
Nice.
I can't even say I'm near the bronze age at all. So it's all mailing and annoying those 2 guys.
Yeah, as a colorist, I always wonder how they colored before computers because it just would have been so hard. Like, wouldn't
the editing of all that stuff been a nightmare way back when?
Oh yeah, I think
to change anything in the art. I mean, still a little bit in the art. You can still with the pencil stage, but as soon as you hit inks, as soon as you put lay down inks to try to adjust something, trying to use whiteout and deal with all that, and the letter setting that they actually had to do on the actual pages, and then like you said, James, the coloring, that would have been a nightmare. So it's
because the coloring they used I don't know what that stuff was called, but it was like they would have to cut out the actual that color over and lay it over, in layers. And I've been just paying like, why can't I just color it with a colored pencil? But we have one more guest joining us tonight.
Yay!
And I think I'm going to have to buy some smoking jackets because Katrina is going to be our first 5-timer. She joins the 5-timers club. So, like Saturday Night Live, we now have to have smoking jackets for Katrina. So how are you doing tonight, Katrina?
I'm good. It's been a hell of a day, but
I'm sorry your baseball game got rained out.
Well, I'm sorry it did, but I wish they had canceled it before I'd driven an hour and 20 minutes towards the baseball game.
Well, that's why you watch this thing called The Weather.
We did. We actually figured it was probably going to be canceled, but
you don't want to take the chance of not.
You don't want to take the chance when you've got the tickets and
Was it a pro game, Katrina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tigers.
I, for one, am not upset that it got rained out because that means you get to join us.
Yes, me and Jeremiah were talking before the show. He hasn't met anybody here except for Joseph. So this is his getting to see everybody for the first time. So we heard how they all got connected, Katrina. Now, how did you become part of this team?
Joseph tagged me in. It's pretty simple.
It's
not a complex story.
Yeah, Katrina, I saw some of her posts, doing some editing work for some other independent guys because I work on some other books. I think I tagged her in on one of those projects, and then, she did a great job on that project, and I thought, she'd be a good match to help us with the Center Ice project, and she was available and willing to take some messages from me and stuff like that. So she's been very gracious, and we're glad to have her on the team.
It's only been once or twice where I've been like, dude, it's like midnight.
Don't let her. Whenever the show's over, me and her sit here and talk till 3 a.m. So don't let her it's midnight. It's way too late.
Way too late.
It's James. That's interesting. The developmental editor on the project, Mike Schneider. We'll have conversations at 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 6 a.m. It's like he's a vampire like myself. I don't think we sleep, and he's always online. I don't know how he operates 24 hours a day. I think he's superhuman. But he's if I probably message him right now on Facebook, he'd probably reply. So I'm very thankful to have Mike on the project. Very thankful to have Katrina. Obviously, these guys make the final project all that much better. So
yeah, I actually went out with real humans last week and was still on my phone in my car answering questions. My friend goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just taking a client meeting. It's okay. I'll be done in a minute."
There's other people that live outside of here?
No, it's crazy. I met one last week.
In the wild?
In the wild.
Oh my gosh.
At a brewery.
After COVID, I don't know what the wild is anymore.
What? I don't even believe you would have went out there. It's like the Wild West.
It was crazy. Outside. There was dinner and a movie and all sorts. Just
a movie in a theater, you didn't Netflix it.
No, we went back.
Going to say
that's too much. Whoa. No, we went back to his place and watched Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow.
The theater is just too much peopling.
That's just too old school right there. Going to
look, we'd already gone out for dinner. That was people. Adding a movie theater on top of that would
yeah, that would have been bad.
Too much.
Too much interaction with wild animals.
Right. Not ready for that.
Yeah, you have enough cats at your house. You don't need.
I do.
Speaking of cats.
More than enough.
Speaking of cats, did you start Rocky 2 yet?
I have not started Rocky 2 yet. I did finish the proofreading on Rocky 1, though.
All right, that's good. I'm waiting for that book. So, but anywho, let's get back. Let's get back.
I'll get there. I'm in the proofing. My cover artist is finally setting up his office again after he moved. Good timing, dude. Yeah. He's trying to fulfill a Kickstarter of his own, and he decided to move in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's always good. But
I'm going to go buy a house. Oh, great timing. Sure.
Yeah. So, I as Katrina likes to say, I have silly questions that I like to ask, and
We like silly questions.
well, I don't know if you I don't know if you know this, but Katrina thinks Batman is the most overrated superhero. Just so you know.
I agree.
Batman?
All right, now we gotta start booting people. All right, so. What is your favorite portrayal of a superhero in a movie? So, like me, Christopher Reeve's Superman was probably the most like on for me. Like that's, but so like for you guys, who would you think is your?
I mean, unfortunately, they ruined the movie for my favorite hero, so I can't use that. Which is Green Lantern.
Sorry,
That movie
Daniel.
was so bad.
It's blasphemy, I tell you, blasphemy.
But as far as my favorite one they actually did, it's gonna sound a little weird, but Brightburn, the evil Superman, I actually really enjoyed that.
I was just someone talking about that earlier today. That they hope that James Gunn goes back and makes the other ones of that series. So. Be interesting.
It's still gonna happen.
Even though it's not really a superhero, but that's good. I like that movie. It was very. It was just like the evil Superman. So
It seemed a little bit more realistic to me. Because I mean, if you're a kid who's getting bullied and then suddenly realize you're invincible,
yeah,
you're gonna take out the bullies.
And remember, villains are heroes of their own stories.
that's right.
That's true.
So in his mind, he is a superhero.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I like to complicate his questions on him.
Yeah, she does.
Listen, I'm going to go with Michael Keaton as Batman because '89 is when I started collecting comics seriously, and a lot of that had to do with Keaton. I mean, let's be honest with you guys. So yeah. It's always going to be Michael Keaton as Batman for me.
I remember that. Was anybody actually alive besides? Well, us three probably were. Can remember the '89 Batman? Like I was in 9th grade when that came out. Well, between 9th and 10th grade, but I just remember 9th grade whenever, like when the promo and all that started for that movie. I was like so hyped. Couldn't believe there was going to be a Batman movie because all the movies we had before that were pretty craptacular.
Like, I might be
other than the, like you said, Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, but it was so well. The first couple, anyway. We won't talk about.
I still kind of like 4. I'm not going to lie.
for being just a pure super like comic book movie, it was okay. Like if you just kind of dissociated it from the other Superman movies to make it.
Yeah, it's absolute crap, but it's a fun movie to watch.
And they're all like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Right. They're like, what? Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
Just Google it. You'll see. Anybody else?
So for me, I think, I don't know, it's a tough one, but I really liked Wesley Snipes' First Blade. There's just something watching that movie and watching him deliver his one-liners, especially the one about ice skating uphill.
Yeah.
It's just something that, I mean, the second and third one fell off, obviously, but something about the First Blade. The boss battle was pretty epic, and, Wesley Snipes was such a bad A, through that movie with the glasses and the shaved head. So I got to give props to him in that movie.
Yeah. The only good thing about the third one is we seen Ryan Reynolds could be Deadpool. Like, do you know what I mean? That's like when that seed gets planted. You're like,
Katrina, how about you?
She doesn't know anything about.
Kind of. Did Darkwing Duck have a movie ever?
Donovan, isn't that your character?
Darkwing.
I love Darkwing Duck. Good job, Katrina. We're friends forever now.
Thank you.
They just announced a Q fig for the San Diego exclusives of Negaduck.
What?
So, yeah. Pisses me off because you can't actually be there, but I guess I know what I'm doing next Friday. Digitally.
Oh, no.
Donovan, do you have any of your shirts on you, like the Count Duckula or...
I've got I got one I bought at Disneyland this weekend for their 65th anniversary.
Can we see it?
Sure, whatever.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
This feels very awkward.
Get up close and personal. Jeremiah, you want to do any show and tell?
The only thing I can show off is tattoos. So
I got a new shirt too.
Yeah.
well, he asked
Nice,
that because
Cobra Kai.
Ooh, nice. When's the third series come out?
I don't know. It should be. Wouldn't it be the fourth? Wouldn't it? I think third one's already out.
Fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. It gets confusing because
Go
the
to like
first.
one spot because I have our heroes tattooed to me.
Yeah.
Like I have both Center Ice and Pathway already tattooed to me.
Nice.
Like
That's. Oh wow.
So our
Center
goal
Ice
is to fill up Jeremiah
Ooh.
completely with all the superheroes.
There we go.
No,
Now that makes me. I need to go get an Omni tattoo. But
I'm not dexterous enough to show you mine.
dexterous.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what that
Flex-
means.
flexible enough.
Oh, okay. I was when you said dexterous, I'm thinking ambidextrous. Like I can use my right and left hand. All right.
James,
I
here's
do
a question
like to-
for you.
All right.
I asked Katrina this, and then I asked the guys. If you had to spell out the sound effect for a locomotive engine when it releases the steam, what would you? How would you do it?
it?
I'm trying to think of what that sounds like. I mean,
Think of like steam release.
yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think.
Jeremiah can do the sound effect.
yeah, it sounds good. It's literally just
So it'd be
I-
like
I think it has like
TSSSSS.
sound.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I think I said like FSH, like.
Yeah.
TSS.
I like both of them. I like the TSS and the FSH. I'm not sure which one to send Robin.
That's when
I'm not sure that's a legitimate sound effect.
But that's kind of the way that, like, whenever I don't even remember who. I mean, I've had so many different people teach me stuff with comics. But when someone had taught me that, like, if you need to find out what a sound of something is, ask a kid. Ask a kid, hey, what's this sound like? You know, or what kind of sound does this make? And they'll make the sound for you, and then you just got to, like,
Figure out how to
okay,
spell that.
how to spell it. Yeah, because they kind of, like, know the sounds of everything for some reason. Like, they don't. All right, Katrina, what kind of sounds does a cat make?
They sound just like me. Didn't you know that?
Oh,
no. You gotta be difficult. You gotta make a question difficult. You'd be like, well, what kind of cat?
Yeah, that's true.
a male cat. Kind of
Do you want to know what bongo sounds like at 4:30 in the morning? Because I found out.
bonga?
Bongo, the little orange kitten.
Oh, okay. Meow.
He's got a little scratchy yell. He doesn't just meow. He yells everything. And at 4:30 in the morning, when I'm sound asleep, I'm thrilled to hear that sound. He did it for half an hour, and the second I stopped petting him, he did it again.
Nice. So, do we have any art that we want to show the people so they can see what they're?
How do we share? Can I share it to you on Facebook, James, and then you can post it, or
You should be able to share the screen yourself. Oh, you're on the phone though, right?
I'm on a phone, but I have my laptop.
But if you just send it to me, I can do it because there's like a share screen thing that you can do, but it's kind of hard on a phone.
Okay. I'll just drop it in Messenger.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do it that way too. So
I'm still learning the this digital video conferencing stuff.
Oh, that's why I said I've been doing this since November, and I'm still learning it. So it's nothing new.
I dropped you one of the lettered pages.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
That wall behind you. If you could only keep one of those toys,
On the one behind me?
that whole wall. If you could only keep one.
Well, on the wall behind me, I don't really know because it would have to probably be Snake Eyes, I think, just because most of this stuff isn't like super important to me. To tell you the truth, all of my important stuff is over here on the bookshelf. So
Gotcha.
this stuff would be like the kids come in all the time. They're like, "Why do you have so many toys?" I'm like, "Really? I've sold most of my stuff. Like that's literally how I stayed alive for the last year, is selling all my stuff. But
Donovan, question for you.
Yes, sir.
You had to pay a lot of money for the kids going to school and stuff like that, and all the expenses, obviously, of being a parent. Did you have to sell off any beloved pieces of your collection to help foot the bills in any of that? Or
Of my comics, no. For my action figures, we have turned a few exclusives. The only one that stung a little bit, well, there was two that stung a little bit. The first one was I had the whole set of the San Diego exclusive Hal Jordan, Red Lantern, Green Lantern, Yellow Lantern, all those. My wife and I were going through, this was a while back. It was like the year after they came out. We had to sell those to pay some bills. And then one year she kind of snaked me a little bit. He's 16 now, but I think he was 10. He was kind of my son. He was throwing a fit at the con, and some guys walked up from Lego and gave him a little card. And it said, "Hey, redeem this at the booth." So we took it to the booth and redeemed it. It was really cool of them, and we got the Shazam, the Captain Marvel Lego. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm keeping this shit." I mean, stuff. Sorry. And
that's fine.
We put it all away, and we got home. We probably went to Disneyland afterwards. Went home, a few days later, and I'm looking for it. I'm like, "Where the hell is Shazam at?" And my wife's like, "Oh, I sold it on eBay the day after for whatever amount she sold." And I'm like, sounds great. So I cried myself to sleep that night, and
I would be so sad.
I was a little upset.
What do you do in that situation? You can't yell at her because that just creates a fight, and that's all bad. So
yeah,
I think I worked a double shift the next day at work. I'm like, I'm sorry, hon. I have to work extra today.
I know how that is. I actually just had to sell my prize comic like last week so I can get school supplies for the kids.
But this is probably the one thing I wouldn't sell. So if you're asking, that's probably
I have no idea what that is.
What is it?
It's all glary. Oh,
Scarlet Witch.
Yes, it's like a WandaVision Barbie doll like thing from Disney. It actually has the Disney thing.
I was just saying I had to sell. It was my autographed 9.8 graded Batman Darkest Night.
Well, yeah.
Where he was, Batman was Green Lantern.
Or my Scarlet Witch pop that I had to get sent from Australia.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually is from Australia, which is crazy. Yeah.
Do they have pop exclusives for Australia?
Yeah, well, this is actually in the United States. It was a Hot Topic exclusive, but it sold out like within a minute. So I had to order it from this place in Australia, and it actually is an Australian one, which you can't really see it on here, but it's from Australia and New Zealand, whatever. It's like the pop from Funko in Australia. So,
Katrina, you just did a big purge, didn't you, of your collectibles?
I purge comics every once in a while, but that's just simply because for a long time I was a reviewer. And so I just had stacks.
You could purge them my way. I wouldn't complain.
I have somebody who usually just will buy them by the box. He doesn't care what's in there. It can be completely random.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, okay, well, it's going to be $20 for the box plus $20 for the shipping on it. And he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But they're not anything of any value. I don't think I own any comics that are of any value.
I only have one. I don't know where it's, and I have it by accident, if that makes sense.
I saw off my kids first. Keep in mind, my kids are in their 20s, so
I'd sell them too. But
Katrina, how was your road trip to Ohio when you came in town for your vacation?
It was good.
What? You went to Ohio?
I did.
And you didn't come a little bit closer to see me?
You knew I was coming to Ohio. Didn't you recommend restaurants?
No. I don't know Ohio, but I'm in Pittsburgh. I can walk to Ohio. Well, really, I can't. Not anymore.
Yeah, we went to Canton and Cleveland.
Oh, Canton.
You stopped at Bill's Book somewhere, right?
We did. Yep.
Was Bill in or just?
He was.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. He let us out the secret back entrance because my oldest has cerebral palsy. and steps aren't great, and that's kind of it was a steep step on the front of the building.
Oh yes, I
So
know
they
all
let us
about
out the back.
steps.
Yeah, we bought a couple of things. I don't go into a comic store without buying something.
I try to do the same thing, even if I'm trying to sell a book for $2.
Yeah.
One of my comics, then I'll end up walking out with $20 worth of books. I'm like, well, this
$20.
wasn't a very profitable trip,
we stopped there and at one other shop in the area. My oldest, he wants to go back, but simply because we found this really good restaurant, and we found this.
one?
I cannot remember the name of it.
It was so good she can't remember the name.
No,
Well,
you're not
getting free food from there.
Totally not. They're not sponsoring me for Jack. And then the hotel guy actually recommended a place that does all their own ice cream that had boozy milkshakes.
Bougie milkshakes.
So yeah, we had peanut butter mudslide milkshakes. So he's all about that. He's like, that was really good. We should go back there, just for like a weekend to eat.
This is my comic book.
Drive.
This is my accidental comic book that's actually worth something.
Ooh, nice. Is that a first appearance of someone?
Yes, that I didn't even know about. Of the Batman Who Laughs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking
Donovan,
through. I was looking through.
Have you ever drawn one of them? Batman Who Laughs?
No, I didn't. Say that one more time. No, I've never drawn. I actually have not. My oldest son wants me to draw one, but
the ripoff of Judge Death. That's literally what he is. I didn't even know. Like, I was looking through. Like, I sell stuff on Macari. That's like how I make some extra money. And I seen people had this on there for like a couple $100, and I'm like, why is that book? I mean, I have it because it was part of my pull list. Like Teen Titans was part of my, and I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, it's just like a throw into that metal thing. Like I started like researching it, and actually, if it's like, a 9.8 or something, you can get $700-800 for it. I was like, that's crazy. So I've been debating whether if I should get it graded or not.
Let me tell you about my pull list story. As a kid, I had a pull list at a local comic shop, and it was like, $40 worth of comics every month or whatever, and it's all my paper route money. And I never got a comic of any value, I think, out of my pull list the entire 3, 4, 5 years that I had it, except one time, Uncanny X-Men 350, I think, featuring Gambit. Mm-hmm. There was a cover that had a chromium holographic cover, and then just the standard cover. Well, I was going in there expecting that I was going to get the holographic chromium cover, and it was just the standard edition. And I was all bummed out because that was the one book out of 4 years of pull list that actually like increased in value at the time. Yeah. And then it was a total bummer. So.
But most of the books in the 90s aren't worth crap because there was just so many of them made.
I don't know. I think my oldest comics have got to be from like the 60s, but they're in so terrible shape. They're actually like my uncle's. There's not a cover among them. They are stored out in a box in the garage. So I bagged and boarded them, and they're sitting in a basket in my office. But yeah, they're printed on, I doubt.
My oldest ones are a series of 3 that nobody ever seems to have heard of. So.
Oh.
That's Green Lantern, Dragonlance.
Oh.
Mm. All right. Well, I have a couple pages of art here. I'm going to share with everybody.
Right. Let's see, because I don't think I've seen any of the art yet.
Oh. So let me see if I can do this because I am terrible at this. So let me see. I think it's.
He says that yet every week he pulls it off. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I got to think about it. All right. Can we see it? I wish there was a way to make this like the full.
Like a full screen.
Yeah, is there a way?
I don't think so. Not in.
No, I don't think there's an easy way to.
I don't think there's.
To enlarge.
It's kind of, especially on here. I'm trying to make sure. Okay. So, well, here's the cover for those who, if we can. I'm going to see if I can. Let me see if I think if I open it in its own tab. Well, that I don't know how much that helped. But,
what if you bump the camera windows off screen?
That might work. Hold on.
Or just the shares on the screen.
Yeah, let me. like
Yeah, that made it a little bigger.
A little bit bigger. But okay. So now let me go back to the page so I can control it. All right. So that is there. All right. So that's the cover. And I guess I got to come back here and do it that way. You know what? Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to do. This ain't going to help either. All right. But anyway. Oh, come on. I hate Facebook. Facebook is the bane of my existence. Because nothing ever works the right way. All right. So you just. I don't know. I don't know if there's. Is Donovan, do you do all the artwork? Or like who else is on the team? Like who does the inking, the coloring?
Yeah, I'm just the penciler, sir.
Nice.
Kieran Squires is the inker, and then February Ferdian is the colorist.
Very cool. Ooh. Is this the villain? Like who's this guy with the curly mustache?
Yeah, that's Mr. I.
Mr. I?
Yeah. The reason he's named that is when we were talking to Weston, the kid is based off of, and asking him, like some of the things that, pediatric cancer patients deal with. His first answer was all of these treatments are really old from the 60s, especially MRIs.
Oh.
So we took the fact that he was talking about MRIs and named the bad guy Mr. I.
Mr. I. There we go. That makes sense. I know all about the great MRIs. Now my mouse decided it didn't want to work anymore. So let me come back. Let me see if I can bring us all back on here now. I don't want me. I want all of us. There we go. I love when your mouse quits working in the middle of this. And then there it goes.
So James, I don't know if you know, I think I mentioned it, but Center Ice is based off of a true life superhero. His name is Weston Hermann. He's in Florida in the Tampa area. And he finds a way to play hockey full time. He's top on his team as far as assists and goals. I mean, he's a true superhero. And what we wanted to do was wanted to share his story to inspire other kids that are battling cancer, battling brain cancer, and any ailment, really. I think that was our goal with Pathway. Even though it was cystic fibrosis, we wanted people that are battling other ailments and disabling diseases and stuff to find hope and inspiration in that character. And with Center Ice too. And Katrina, you mentioned cerebral palsy.
Yep.
It's one of the causes that are on our radar that we'd like to get to create a superhero. So maybe if the time comes and we can get together with a nonprofit group, and you want to be maybe a little bit closer to the vest as far as part of that process, we'd love to have you on board, because what we want to do is, we believe Heroes for Causes, every kid deserves a superhero, their own superhero to look up to. So, one with battling brain cancer and one, battling cystic fibrosis. That way everyone has their own personal Superman, their own personal Batman, because who can relate to a guy that has billions of dollars,
Right.
has billions of dollars of equipment on him and stuff like that? Not too many of us, even though we all respect and look up to him for the most part, right? But a kid that's battling brain cancer and it's real to him, going through all these MRIs and antiquated, chemotherapies and stuff that Weston always talks about and always fights. That's a real story for someone that's going through that. And we really believe in the press release that Liz Fold is going to release, that if we can just give that child a moment where they can wear a cape and forget about the world's worries just for a few moments, our mission's complete. That's, we did our job. So
Yeah, that's why we started it. Is that me myself, I have cystic fibrosis. So growing up sick all the time, the worst part was constantly feeling misunderstood and alone. And I mean, I didn't really have any comic book heroes I could look at and be like, well, they fight for 5 minutes and they're out of breath like me, or they're constantly like me. There was nobody like that. So that's what we want to give these kids, is someone they can look at and go, holy crap, that's me.
Yeah. I totally understand that. I mean, I don't get into my own stuff too much on here, but when I first when Katrina had posted something about it, that's why I decided to have you guys on here, because I myself am going through battling brain cancer. This is for 4 years now. I've had 2 brain surgeries. This last one I decided not to do it again, just because it's not fun. it's not a fun thing to go through, and so I've been just trying to take a natural way to treat it this time, and that's why I was talking to Jeremiah. I have this long hair. This hair is like longer than I've ever had in my life, and everyone tells me to cut it. And I was like, I haven't been able to grow hair for 4 years. I'm letting my hair grow. Like it's, so
a little sometimes.
Yeah, and
he's only 14, and he's had brain cancer 4 times.
Yeah, so I mean I'm dealing with some other stuff. Like I don't get into it. Like, I lost a leg here in January, so I'm kind of really stuck in my. That's why I make jokes about being outside, because I'm kind of like stuck in this room. So, but I mean, when I heard about this, I was like, that's right with something I can get into. I know a couple of years ago I tried to start an anthology. I had called it Captain Courageous, and I was going to be donating to 2 different childhood cancer organizations, and I couldn't get anyone to they all wanted paid. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to do this for money. This is like, but it just never got done because I couldn't find anybody who wanted to donate their time to make a comic book for kids, So
we do pay the the inkers and our colorist, and pretty much everybody but Donovan gets paid.
And what I haven't told the guys yet is I won't be invoicing them.
That's good. Yeah,
that's very kind of you, Katrina.
But yeah, so we do pay a lot of other people, but like the 3 of us, we don't make anything off of it. We spend all of our time between Donovan doing the pencils, Joseph working with the other artists and doing the writing, and me being my professional beggar self that I am, trying to find people who work with us.
Yeah, so that's what
idea. I'm ideas, and then finding the organizations to work with and coordinating with them. So.
Nice. So that was huge this time, James, because with the Colton's Legacy Foundation, obviously we were nobody. I mean, Donovan probably had the most credits out of all the creative team, and then me, and then Jeremiah, was completely new to the whole comic book world, and so he did a great job being the liaison with Colton's Legacy Foundation, and basically pitching them on, hey, we want to do a book that represents cystic fibrosis. We do it, with a very sensitive manner, so that we're not, we're representing the cause and the condition, truthfully, yeah. And they took the leap of faith. They helped, subsidize the print run, and then, we shouldered the rest of the production costs. And now this time around, we had that book in our back pocket, and Jeremiah went to the ACS and said, hey, this is the project that we did, check it out. Here's the quality. Is there something that we can link up with you? And, a big organization like the ACS, they hear comic books and they're like, oh, well, comic books, come on, that's for kids. So, you don't see a lot of corporate America getting involved, or even, nonprofits get involved with comic books. So it was a huge leap of faith, with the ACS, and even our contact at the ACS, Laura, she there's a story where she went down to Disney, downtown Disney, for the first time after talking to our team, saw some artwork in one of the stores downtown, and had a whole new appreciation for it, because you really don't understand how much work goes into a comic book until you're actually there going through the process. And there's the initial concepting, there's a developmental editor, there's the copy editors, there's the proofreaders, maybe beta readers, maybe reviewers, pencils, inkers, colorists, letters. There's so many different pieces and parts to make a book look professional at the end of the day. Yeah. That same thing with Hollywood, right? You watch a movie, $10 at the movie theater, like, oh man, Avengers, great movie. But if you ever stay after for all the credits, there's hundreds or thousands of people that were involved making that movie. Yeah. So yeah, you really don't, I guess, appreciate it until you've actually been through it. And same thing, James, with your struggle and your story and your fight, you really don't understand what it is to fight through chemo and cancer and stuff like that until you've actually been through it. So it does, when you said you tried launching a project and you just didn't get, the commitment or involvement that you want, maybe a lot of people haven't been touched personally by it. And so we were very thankful with Donovan seeing Jeremiah's post, and he had cousins that had been affected by cystic fibrosis. So that hit his heart and called him to the project. And, me, I didn't have any personal connections to cystic fibrosis, but anytime I see something that's cause-based and I can kind of get involved, and it's been a blessing because, the team that we've pulled together, and now, with Katrina and with Mike and everybody, it just works like a well-oiled machine. We're all pushing towards the same cause. It's like a team that they're totally in sync with each other. I think that the passion shows in the project once the project is complete, versus kind of one person running the show and stuff. Our whole process, Donovan and I and Jeremiah talked about the plot for Center Ice for probably hours, whether it's in Facebook chat or on the phone. So it could be what it is. And then, Mike honed it, and then Katrina polished it off. So, without all those steps and all those checks and balances in between, it wouldn't be what it is. And hopefully, readers will enjoy it when we release it in a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was connecting with you should have seen it. She came down to one of the conventions I was booked at Southwest Porticon, when all we had was Pathway. And just to watch her when she first showed up and kind of looking around, you could tell she wasn't really into it. Then she started seeing how people were reacting to, our story of what we were doing and just comic books in general. And she started walking around, like, trying to network with, like, everybody she could find. Like, she got really into it. And, now we're at a point where we got people like Larry Dixon tagging Patton Oswalt on and stuff about us. And,
nice. Great.
That's really cool.
Yes. Yeah. Again, I don't know if it went over. How can someone who is interested in the book get the book, or even Pathways?
Can't get yet, but they will be able to get it from either one of the American Cancer Society stores or our actual website, which is just heroesforcauses.com.
All right, and I do have that, and I am going to drop that in the chat. So people
or if they
have it.
Convention, I'll just hand them a signed copy as well.
Conventions are fun.
Yeah, well, I said I'll be at MyCon in August 28th here in Orlando. So
I've got my first show in March, like first ever. So I'm like,
where are you going?
It's just a little small convention in Midland, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little one. They do it in a mall. So
I might have to.
Center strip of the mall, which is usually kiosks and stuff.
Yeah.
They cleared out and set up tables all the way down, so it's free for the public.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's. I thought, well, you know what? It's a good step in the doorway. It's not a lot of pressure. It's.
Yep.
It's not a show where I'm like, oh my god, if I don't make table, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to eat tonight, kind of thing. No, it'll be okay. It's a small little show, and tables I think are $50 a table, and they provide tables, chairs, coverings. So
my first con was in Hagerstown, Maryland. It was in a roller rink. It was so dark in there, like you couldn't see anything. Like it was the worst lit place I'd ever been in my life. I did not sell one thing the whole time.
Oh no.
But my son, he was 16 at the time, and so I took him with me, and he had fun. So I was just glad we got to spend a weekend together, and in the hotel. And the Power Rangers, some of the people from the Power Rangers were right across the aisle away from us, so he got to meet all the Power Rangers and got to talk to all these other artists that were around. And so it was worth it just to get to spend a weekend with, and he got to sit at the table and draw stuff for people, and so we had fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping to wrangle my he'll be 21 then. He's 20 now. My soon to be 21-year-old in for the weekend.
Nice. Yeah.
I look back at all the probably 2 or 3 dozen conventions I've done, and I've had my great aunt there helping me, friends and family, and one of my cousins that's from Tennessee. So I think I've wrangled everybody that was willing
Good.
to help be my advocate and salesperson at the shows. And, obviously I wouldn't have probably sold as many books as I had if I hadn't had the support. But James, like you said, and it's more of an experience a lot of times. Yeah. And Katrina, like you said, you're not too worried if you make table or whatever, but if you have a chance to get your son up there and have that experience for that weekend.
Yeah, he'll probably tell me he has a gig that weekend. He's a musician, so.
Donovan, how about you, sir?
My child, who they tried to convince to go into business management, who went into jazz studies.
I've only ever been a guest. My first one as a solo artist will be Black Label Comic Con, August 13th in Philadelphia.
Very cool.
Philadelphia. So where are you from, Donovan?
I'm in Vegas.
You're gonna fly all the way to Philly?
Hey, someone else is paying for it, so
I
yeah,
was
I'll be
gonna say,
there.
hopefully you're not paying to go to Philly because, I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. I won't even pay to go to Philly.
I'll be there for 2 days, sir. So in and out.
And what show is it?
The Black Label Comic Con is what it's called. It's put on by a guy named Eric Cooper.
I'll have to see. I'm usually pretty well versed in the cons around here because, it's how we have to.
It's his second or third year. He's still kind of new. He's published quite a few books, but it's independent press.
His name is really familiar.
Eric's
I don't know why,
though,
but I know his name's familiar.
I think his most famous book is Night Seeker. What I've done for him are all like illustrations for he's got a really cool word for it, and I'm not going to try and screw it up, but it's like a combination of novels and comics put together.
Okay.
So I've done a couple sci-fi things for him. The book he just kickstarted that came out was the Greenville Triangle, I believe is the name. So really cool stuff.
Very interesting. All right. Yeah, so I have another one of my silly questions.
Sure.
Who do you think has the best origin story in comics?
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. And what is Adam Warlock's origin for those people who don't
he's
know?
Space Jesus is what he is. He started off so nondescript that his name was him. The Marvel editorial went and saw Jesus Christ Superstar, and they said, wouldn't it be cool if we could somehow figure out how to do that story? And Jim Starlin's like, I think I know what to do. And so thanks to Counter Earth and Man Beast and the High Evolutionary, you got Space Jesus.
Is that why he was called him in the beginning?
I honestly, why Jack Kirby and Stan Lee called him, I don't know. I think he was just supposed to be the perfect human being that, the Enclave built. But yeah, it was just a random, I guess Jesus Christ Superstar was the show to go watch in New York at the time. And they all sat around and be like, hey, that'd be pretty cool if we could take that idea. Don't know. I don't know. Might as well rip off the New Testament. Yeah, someone else made it the most popular book in the world, so screw it. So that's mine.
Top that.
Right. Go ahead, guys.
I'm out. I got nothing.
I'll use the same one I told you, the book that I love that nobody ever heard of, Green Lantern Dragonlord. The actual Green Lantern in there is given the ring because he's trying to save a village. Thinks it's evil, so doesn't use it. Still breaks into the Chinese Imperial Palace, kills the Emperor, takes out half the army, steals his concubine without the ring. Then you finally see him use a ring, and he summons a big dragon to take out an army of horses. Or he uses it to rope some bandits just to get the food back for the village, but that's really it. Most of it he's just no, I got this.
Someone once told me the Green Lantern is just a guy with a 3D printer.
Kind of, yeah.
That's really what it is. If you can think of it, you can make it, right?
Basically.
So does
has a problem with the yellow when it gets to it.
Yeah,
it's good with the RGB, but once it hits yellow, it's screwed.
That's only pre-crisis, though.
That's true.
I'm so glad they got rid of that weakness. Green Lanterns get beat by a stick.
Yeah, what's a yellow stick?
Well, that Alan Scott, the original, remember, before he was a space cop. So Alan Scott, his weakness was wood.
Yeah.
So at least the color is a step up because honestly, you can take a superhero down with a pencil. Not really.
If it was a wooden pencil.
I'm talking about is the weakness to wood.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, there's been one hero who had a dumber weakness than that, and I can't even remember her name. But Marvel made a superhero that was claustrophobic and then sent her into space on a spaceship. And she literally opened the door to the spaceship because she got claustrophobic and killed herself.
Really?
Yeah.
The only one that comes to mind
That
is
might be
Storm.
the
Storm,
Storm's
yeah.
claustrophobic, remember?
Who?
Storm.
Oh, that's crazy.
But they haven't
This was like
played
some,
that
like-
in a long time.
Yeah, this is some other character that I don't even, like. She was so little known, I don't even remember her name.
In other words, they made her claustrophobic so they could kill her.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, Joe.
guys. I looked up the 15 lamest weaknesses in comics on CBR. You guys want to hear the 15 lamest weaknesses?
Let's hear it.
All right. At number 15 is pink kryptonite.
And what does
Did
pink
you know there's
kryptonite do?
pink kryptonite?
Well, there's every color of kryptonite, but what's it do to them? Does it make them wear a dress? Like I don't.
Don's a tutu.
Supergirl 79, I guess, debuted pink kryptonite.
Oh, of course, because it's Supergirl.
And what did it
Yeah.
do to her?
Same
It doesn't-
effect I think it has on Superman, but I think they're just saying because it's pink, it was patronizing. I don't know.
Oh, because it's a girl.
Because she's a girl.
Yeah.
Yes,
And they made it pink. Okay.
Yeah. All right, 14, asbestos.
I think that's kind of a weakness for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's like cancer causing.
Yeah, that one's at least realistic though.
Human
Yeah.
Torch, I guess, has a
And
weakness
asbestos.
to asbestos.
Makes sense because it's fire.
And then you said 13, you said Green Lantern, then color yellow, right?
Yeah.
That's 13. 12 is dehydration, Aquaman.
Oh, gee.
That makes sense though.
Like when do they?
11 is running too fast, The Flash.
Run
10?
too
I hate
fast.
when that happens.
In the early comic for the Flash, he literally had to limit his speed or rip him apart. Like his body couldn't handle it.
Is that why they end up with the treadmill so you can go through time?
Okay, 10 is low self-esteem, and that's the Gladiator from Marvel.
No, I like that one. I use that one at work on my crew all the time.
It's their weakness.
Listen, I'm take that one out, dude. That one's good. I like that one actually. You doubt yourself. The only thing that's going to stop you from being Superman with a really awesome mohawk is if you doubt yourself.
That's true.
Shit works, sir.
Number 9 you guys had as well, and that was Wood in the Green Lantern. 8, you guys will have to help me with this one. Natural unprocessed material.
So
Uh,
synthetic.
Power Girl gets stabbed with
unprocessed. So she was weak to like natural ores and clothing, like stuff that was completely natural, like hemp
Power
and
Girl, right?
So
yeah.
you could, if you took like iron ore, you
Stab her and
Well,
hurt.
If you went near a tree, she had an allergic reaction.
basically, yeah. Like
throw wool on her.
there's been a lot of weaknesses that they made in like early comics that they went, no, that's stupid, and like retconned it later.
Just throw her in the middle of the redwood forest. She's doomed. That's it.
Her and Green Lantern. Throw them in the middle of the forest, and they're done.
Are you ready for number 7?
All right.
Bring
This
it.
one's kind of fun. I mean, not funny, but kind of funny because I know the run where they're talking about and being bound by a man, and that was Wonder Woman.
Wonder
'Cause
Woman.
Somehow
Wonder
they had
Woman.
this infatuation with putting her in bindings for all the covers, and I don't know why was that a thing.
Because they were into BDSM with her. I don't know.
Because certain things sell.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think William, what is his name? William H. Marston, right? Her creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was one of his kinks, him and
Yeah.
his wife and their girlfriend. And so he transcribed that over, just like their girlfriend wore the bracelets all the time. And that came over with Wonder Woman.
Mhm.
What movie was that?
It's on Hulu or something, or Amp Prime or something.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but yeah.
I remember
Is it-
watching
it's-
it. Yeah, that's what I remember.
It's
from the movie.
something's Wonder Women or something. I think it's. I don't remember. I just
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
number
next?
6. Number 6, and this is actually kind of like center ice, actually. Thor's 60-second rule. Did you guys know he had a 60-second rule?
When
It
he
sounds
separated
familiar.
from his hammer.
He
Yeah.
can actually only go into like full power, like the way he was in Ragnarok, like where he got full powered. He can only do that for a minute at a time.
Well, they
It's
used
just
to have
very,
it.
very draining.
If he was separated from the Hammer for more
Right,
than
he would
would turn
revert
back to
Donald
Dr.
Blake.
Blake. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I remember them using that was in Infinity Gauntlet when Eric Masters got separated from the Hammer
Yeah.
through Thanos' portal, and then he got transformed back into his human form.
Eric
That's
Masters
been a
is my
minute.
favorite Thor.
Yeah, Thunderstrike.
I have my Thunderstrike hammer. I used to have it here so I could bring it out, but it's over in the corner.
Gotta love Beta Ray Bill, though.
Beta Ray Bill. Horseface.
James, center ice, his weakness is he can only transform into center ice for one period of hockey. And once that time runs out, then he reverts to his human or his kid form.
It's kind of like on Stargirl, the Hourglass kid. He could only have his powers for so long.
Hourman.
Yeah, Hourman, yeah.
Number 5, you guys ready for number 5, guys and gals?
Let's go.
Prayer.
Prayer?
Prayer? Like,
Dark side, I guess.
I was gonna say, was that gonna be Ectrogan's weakness? Is prayer?
if you pray, you can't hurt you while you're praying? Is that what it's
Brainiac
saying?
13 drains Apocalypse of its power with prayer.
Brainiac does?
Oh, sorry. The Amazons pray to Darkseid, giving the new god brand new power, letting him counter the threat of Apocalypse.
Oh,
Okay.
The Amazons. That's why you can't trust women.
You never know who we're randomly going to pray to.
Yeah, I can give all the power to.
Number 4 is saying your name.
Shazam.
Yes. Yep.
Or Captain Marvel if you want to be specific.
Yep.
But you can't use that as the title of the book anymore.
That's ridiculous. I mean, does anybody know? I read a little bit about that, but I'm not really sure about the intricacies. Donovan, do you know more about that?
Because Marvel doesn't want another company using their name as a character.
Yeah.
So they keep that's why they have to keep a character of Captain Marvel constantly in print so they can renew that trademark.
Isn't that why his name is Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And then Janice and his kid. Yeah. Until they finally settled on Carol Danvers. But yeah, it's so they as long as they keep renewing that trademark or whatever it is, DC can't. I mean, DC technically owns Captain Marvel from Charleston Comics.
Yeah, they can call him Captain Marvel in the book.
Right, just not on the title.
Yeah, the title can't be Captain Marvel.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they've just kind of cut out the middleman, so to speak, and they're call him Shazam.
It's like Shazam. It's Shazam in the Marvel family or something, but in the movie they call him the Shazam family, just so it doesn't confuse the new people.
And then I think it was Jeff Johns who retconned it. So it's because that was the problem back when it was Captain Marvel Jr. Because he said Captain Marvel was his magic word, and they're like, "Well, how are you going to ever tell people who you are?" So when I think it was Jeff Johns got into Shazam, the way that the magic knows your intent. So if Billy Batson is just kind of goofing around and he's just telling Dick Grayson,
I saw Shazam,
and he's like, "Oh, Shazam is the wizard. I get the power." It doesn't change. But if he's really serious, if he's in earnest, and he says Shazam, then he turns into So I don't know. I always thought it'd be funny in the movie if they did a scene with like Shazam in his Christian Bale voice. He's like, "I'm Shazam," and all of a sudden he turns into a 9-year-old and then just gets shot. I don't know. Would be a really short movie, but I thought it'd be funny.
Very cool.
Number 3. Number 3 is Iron. Do you know whose weakness is Iron?
Iron Man.
You get mad points if you get this one right, because I didn't even know this character.
Iron.
Yeah, no idea.
Bill Keith's the Dark Elf. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, Donovan, you get mad points. How do you know that?
It's because all of them, the fairies are iron is there.
I didn't know that was a thing. You sprinkle them with iron dust and it just.
Yeah, and in pretty much all mythos, that's a thing with Fae.
Right.
Iron.
So keep some iron dust on me in case any malevolent
Fays come.
Fays are around.
Yep.
Well, look, it was his weakness until Thor: The Dark World came out, and then boredom is what happened. because they screwed that character.
I know. And then, it was bad.
But more specifically, it's supposed to be cold forged iron, not just regular iron.
So I got to have cold forged iron dust.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I want to see somebody cold forge iron to begin with. Like, you have to be strong.
Yeah, basically.
You have to be Thor.
What's
Donovan,
number 2,
you got number 2 in part. Number 2 is the desire to lose. Can you name the character?
The desire to
lose?
The desire to...
That's a low self-esteem thing.
Yeah, but this is like
It's
somebody
like, come on,
wants to
beat
lose.
me. I need a challenge. Beat me.
The desire to lose? I don't know. The champion of the universe is all I could think of, but that's, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm
You
drawing a blank.
alluded to the character that beat him, I think, earlier.
I did?
Yeah.
Adam Warlock.
Yep. And who did he
really?
bet?
The desire to lose?
It's not
Thanos?
Adam Warlock's weakness. Adam
It's-
Warlock beat
The
Thanos.
mate? Oh, I don't know. Who is it?
Thanos.
Thanos. Yeah.
Oh, because he subconsciously gives them the, because he doesn't ever really think he's worthy of his power. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a scene right now that they clipped out for this
Pop out.
thing, and it's Adam
Infinity
Warlock.
Gauntlet.
Yeah,
What's that?
Adam Warlock like giving him like a stern talking to or something.
It's got to be one of those Infinity books. You figure,
Right.
And he just looks like a kid that got his hand slapped with a ruler.
Right.
All right, number 1. What is the dumbest weakness of all comic book characters according to CBR?
Magic.
Don't know.
I couldn't even guess. We've hit some pretty dumb ones.
Donuts.
Donuts.
Donuts
That's
are
a good
mighty.
one, actually. That's not a thing it should be.
What
All
is
right, number 1, drum roll. Puppies.
Puppies.
Can you name the character?
Lobo.
Hold on a second.
No,
He doesn't
Judge Death.
listen.
Judge Death.
He didn't like fluffy things.
Who?
Judge Death.
Judge Death
Judge
from
Death?
Judge Dredd. Yeah, his
Well, there's 2 then.
Who did they say?
puppies. Oh, there we go.
Tom Puppies. Heathcliff.
And in the
Garfield.
Indestructible Hulk special, Banner, I think it's Bruce Banner, has the power to stop
What?
Hulk in his tracks. So puppies can stop Hulk in his tracks. Did you know that?
No.
Well,
I
that
thought it was an
wasn't
abusive
It's a
father,
good
but
thing
I
that
don't
other
know.
people don't know that either. There's been some short-ass movies.
See if you can find the one I was talking about, the claustrophobic one that was in space and like opened the door and killed himself. So I tried to do it
Claustrophobic
on my phone
weakness.
when I was closing this, so
Yeah, that would be.
my computer's on the other side of the house.
And I'm on mine, so I can't.
Who did you think it was, Jeremiah?
Oh, I don't know her name. I know it was a female character that was claustrophobic, and she was on a spaceship and opened the door, and that's how she died.
It's saying Storm is claustrophobic.
Yeah, that's the only one I could ever think of.
You know, she didn't die.
Did she ever die and come back to life?
That's what I'm trying to think. Has she ever died? Because everybody in the X,
She's an X-Man. She's died
I'd
and
say,
come back to
I'd
life.
say everybody in the X-Men has
Let
died
me see if I can
sometime.
by chance do this on my phone without getting disconnected. Hold on. God, I hope so.
What's the one comic book character that they'll never kill off?
hard to say.
Daredevil. Or Deadpool.
Deadpool?
I have a hot
He
take
can't
about
die for real.
Deadpool. I will go to the grave with this theory. The Deadpool, the way he is now, I don't care what Rob Liefeld tells you, is not the Deadpool he created. But he ain't going to tell you any different because he makes buku money off of Deadpool and the way he is now. But that is not the character he created. If you go back and read the old New Mutants and the old X-Force books, you'll see that Deadpool is completely different than the Deadpool we have now. He has different powers, like he could teleport.
More pouches.
More, actually, less
annoying cosplayers.
Yes, less, and he was crazy, like he was nuts, but he didn't like break the fourth wall or talk about tacos and chimichangas, and he was crazy. He was like psychotic, and he was a hitman. So I mean, it was like for the first 5, 6, 7 years, he was a cool character, and then they decided to give him his own series, and they decided to make him a joke.
Who wrote that series, James? Do you know? Was it
the original? Like when they did when Ed McGuinness drew it, I think it was Jeff Loeb. I want to say
when he became the jokester.
Yeah, I think that's because
I think you're right.
Because he had like there was 2 mini series. The one was Joe Madureira, and that's what set Joe Madureira into and he drew that one, and that one was starting to get a little on the comic-y side. And then the second miniseries, Ian Churchill drew, and that one was more serious. And then he got his own series, and that's the one I know that Ed McGuinness drew it, and that's when they just totally made him into a comic, like a comedy character.
I found the character that I was thinking of. Her name is Mystic.
Mystic.
She was an odd character with vague energy powers who kind of lucked her way into the Justice League task force after DC tried to drum up some buzz for an upcoming solo title. Unfortunately, DC changed their minds about said title, meaning Mystic was no longer needed, where she was en route to a distant planet on a tiny spaceship. The solution? Decide Mystic with horrible, debilitating claustrophobia so that she shoots herself out of an airlock into the cold vacuum of space completely off panel. After she, accepted the confined spaceship travel to begin with.
I want to know, how did Jeremiah tell all this and his mouth never moved?
That was magic.
That was
ventriloquism. That's a new superpower Jeremiah has. We didn't know.
Yeah, so that's who I was thinking of was Mystic.
And it was DC, not Marvel. So.
Mystek from DC.
And was this like early 90s, late 80s DC? I have a tendency to believe. Or early 2000s when nobody was reading it.
It doesn't say. It just goes in. It's on an article. It's the 10 incredibly stupid ways they killed off heroes.
Which is
I want to hear the other rest of those.
You want to hear the rest of the list? Okay.
How they kill off? Because I always like one of the questions I asked one time, like who had the best death in comics.
So the first one, it says cannibalism. And that was Hank Pym, enraged at Watt's death, grows giant, picks up the blob, and bites his head off.
Yes, that was in Ultimates, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Ultimatum? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
The next one is inability to take off his quiver. So when Brian Michael Bendis decided to disassemble the Avengers, not everyone got equally glorious deaths. While Vision was literally exploded with Ultron robots, Hawkeye's quiver manages to get shot by a random laser blast while he can't take it off.
Okay.
I hate when that happens.
That's terrible.
A Green Lantern named Chip, he's the squirrel one, got ran over by a yellow truck.
A yellow truck?
Yep.
Like a Tonka truck.
It was the yellow truck, yeah. This one, number 4 says decapitated by a distracted Superboy. Apparently that's how Panther died. Superboy accidentally decapitated her because he wasn't paying attention. Let's see. Number 5 is falling onto an unconscious rogue.
That really happened?
Yeah, Mr. Sinister apparently. He died by falling onto an unconscious rogue in endangered species. Sure, Rogue's life.
You'd think I would know that.
Abilities had been super augmented by some ridiculous reason, and Mystique helped Sinister fall by pressing his face onto the unconscious X-Men, but still, that's how he died.
I have to check that out because you think I'd know that.
Can we fact check that?
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Because I mean,
It says endangered species.
an endangered species. I have to check.
So
'Cause I
number
just have to see that.
is eaten by birds. So during the madcap hijinks of Spider-Man the Other, Spider-Man fought another recipient of Spider Totem named Miss Arrow, who had Spidey's powers but was also made of spiders. After being battled into a standstill, Spider-Man lures Miss Arrow into an aviary where she is eaten by spider until by all the birds.
That's kind of dark.
Number 7, crashes into a spaceship while wearing a ring that allows him to fly through space without a spaceship.
Which Green Lantern was that?
Abin Sur.
Abin Sur.
Flying through space with his ring, crashed into a spaceship. Number 2, they died by refusing medical care.
Refusing medical care.
That was the female Robin.
And
the young vigilante. Her name was Spoiler.
Yeah.
And you can talk during her brief tenure as Robin.
Yeah, and now she's back alive.
Because
Remember, that was her redemption arc. She refused medical. Oh, I betrayed everything, so just let me die.
Oh, look, number 10 is also from Ultimatum. It flat out says this was full of awful deaths, but none quite so mind-boggling dumb as Ultimate Doctor Strange's head exploding from his cape getting too tight.
I could see that. Especially if you saw the movie. The cape had a mind of its own.
It made it really tight, and it exploded his head.
Ultimatum was horrible. Horrible.
It was like, we just want this line to end. How can we kill everybody?
Yeah, it really was. It was so bad.
Because I really liked the Ultimate stuff, and then they were just like, we have to find a way to end this world. Let's just kill everybody off horribly.
Well, I know that he did the covers, but did David Finch do the interiors too? Do you guys remember?
I think so.
What a waste of such detailed art just to show like stupid, like the cannibalism or, look, Magneto's going to flood New York.
There's a lot of weird stuff that happened in that Ultimate Universe, though.
Yeah.
Like they weren't shy to tell you that Scarlet Witch and
Quicksilver,
and Quicksilver did
closer than brother and sister should be.
Closer than brother and sister. And that somehow Wolverine was their father.
God, I know.
And Cable was Wolverine from the future.
Right. Oh, yeah. And then Ultimate Apocalypse was just Mr. Sinister going totally crazy, and Mr. Sinister was just some prison guy.
Yeah, he was like a hitman.
Yeah, with all these stupid tattoos. Oh, my lord.
And Colossus was a gay Russian mobster.
Yeah, I forgot the mobster part. Yeah.
Yeah. The good old Ultimate Universe. But hey, we got Miles Morales out of it, so that's
right.
It's like the only
thing. We had to combine 2 Galactuses to kill the whole universe, but we did it. It's all right. It's good.
It's all right. It's all good. And then we make, that's the ultimate. Like, one of my things I hate about Marvel is their love to make villains into heroes. I don't know why they like to do that. And like in the Ultimate,
Punisher,
the Ultimate series, like that was just recently, how he was part of that team. Like Galactus was a hero. I'm like, Galactus is a hero. He literally eats planets.
And they changed him though. Wasn't it the Blue Marvel? Somebody else. He got gold instead of purple. He was gold.
Yeah,
and he was the planet bringer, the life bringer instead of the. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Wasn't that after Franklin Richards became Galactus?
Yeah, that got retconned too, though. Because now remember, Franklin's losing his powers, and he's never been a mutant now.
Oh no, he's still a mutant. His powers are going away.
He's just not welcome on Krakoa. No,
actually, because they kidnapped him and took him to Krakoa in the Fantastic Four
They didn't. No, they didn't. They never made it to Krakoa. Remember, they make it to the Latvian island, where Doom has Latvian mutants volunteering for some Sentinel program he's doing, and Magneto and Professor X unceremoniously break up with Franklin. Sorry, you just thought you were a mutant. You're not welcome anymore. Sorry.
You don't want you.
I always like that story. Like, this big world eater talking mad crap, and then Franklin Richards just goes, "I'm Galactus now," and he is.
Yeah, right.
Because he is the most powerful character in the Marvel universe.
He was.
Which I think is why they started changing that. It's because it was a little too easy to use him to end any storyline or change a storyline.
Well, that was your I guess MacGuffin.
So, James, I have a silly question.
The Marvel reset button.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
All right.
What is the best story arc that hasn't been made a movie yet, or even hinted at being a movie in the near future, that you think needs to be made a movie of?
Ooh, there's a lot.
It can be DC, Marvel, it can be independent. What's everyone's pick?
You mean live action movie?
Yeah, live action movie.
Because I say, if you go DC, they've made like everyone into an animated movie by now.
Yeah, live action.
Live action.
I still need them to do an actual decent Green Lantern movie. That's all I need.
Well, they're going to have that Green Lantern Corps HBO Max show, and they're doing the Green Lanterns movie.
Already, if WB hadn't screwed them over.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing, and I'll see we're going to go. When they did that the Crisis on Infinite Earths on WB, and Diggle got the ring at the end, I flipped. I'm like, if they don't show him as the Green Lantern, I'm done. Like, this is like they've been hinting at it since the first season of Arrow. Like his name is actually Jon Stewart. Come on, you're going to name a character Jon Stewart and not make him be the Green Lantern?
In the HBO show, he was supposed to be the actor playing Green Lantern in that.
Yeah.
WB decided since they were canceling Arrow, they would go ahead and screw over that whole plan and just go ahead and announce he was Green Lantern. They weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. But I guess supposedly sometime on The Flash we're going to see him as the Green Lantern. We'll see. But go back to your question. I'm trying to look at all my graphic novels here. Because there's a lot that I like Floppy Cop. Does he have a pretzel for a face, the bad guy? Do you like pretzel face?
I haven't read the book yet, but yes, probably.
He has a soft pretzel for a face.
It would make a better weekly than it would a movie, though.
Yeah. I would say, and I hope they don't do it on that stupid Titan show. I can't say it's stupid. I like it, but I would like to see. Now it just went out of my mind.
I've got mine if you need some time.
Go ahead. I know it. I just got to bring it back to mine. But go ahead, tell me yours.
This was a series that was near and dear to me when I was collecting comic books, but Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, if they would have done it right, yes. Because I have, I'm an X. I every weekend I'm talking about my X-Men stuff. But
you know what movie I would love to see, or better yet, a show, but a movie. I would like to see a movie that is actually about Lobo. Not about the heroes and then fighting him, actually about Lobo.
And not that terrible one that they had in Krypton.
Most recently.
Yeah.
Krypton. Yeah. It wasn't bad. But, that show, I just wish, I hate when you get into a show and then it gets canceled and there's, no end and you're like, I'm stuck here. But I would say, what the heck is that? The Judas Contract? I'd like to see that. But obviously you're gonna have to set that up. You just can't boom. But and I know it got a lot of crap from back in the day, but the Clone Saga on Spider-Man, because I like Ben Reilly.
We haven't seen him in a while, have we?
Well, he had his own book a couple years ago, but it was bad. They tried to make him into Deadpool, he did that same thing where he's talking to the camera and all that. But I like Ben Reilly.
He's coming back.
Yeah,
Marvel's doing either they're doing something with him now, or he's coming back after the Sinister War thing.
Yeah, the Sinister War. I just picked that up today. I want to start reading it. I'm one of those. What?
Still waiting on Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twin powers.
Okay,
activate. I like the book that when they had their comic there for a while, and
Yeah,
then
that
they
was
made them. Then they made them part of Young Justice at the end. Yeah. I've always liked the Wonder Twins. But what were
Donovan, how
the?
about you?
Me, I say for Marvel, Inferno with the X-Men, and then for DC, Kingdom Come.
Nice.
Kingdom Come would be a great movie. Oh.
How would you film or produce that movie? It'd have to be like very stylized, right? Just because
Yeah,
of the artwork.
I would do it in 2 parts or 3 parts. Just break it up because it's everybody knows the main cast that's retired.
Or just have Zack Snyder make a 6-hour-long movie.
Right, there you go. Done.
I
Get
still
Henry
don't know.
Cavill in the suit, no problem.
I sat through the whole Justice League, and I was like, that was 4 hours? I don't know. I can like just get into stuff like that and just blow right through it.
Yep.
Katrina would say one of her cat stories.
So, you know
You just want to see Rocky turn into a movie.
But I'm telling you, you have to have Apollo Creed in the second one. Apollo Creed.
You know what movie the world needs though? Like really needs? Squirrel Girl.
Oh. And it has to be the girl from the AT&T commercials, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they try. My understanding was Squirrel Girl was going to be in the now aborted New Warriors series.
Yeah, she was
going
in
to be
cartoon,
the main character.
In the cartoon that they did, that Secret Warriors.
Yeah.
And that AT&T girl was the voice of her in that show.
Well, I think they were going to do on Hulu before they jettisoned everything off of Netflix and Hulu. Yeah. They were going to do New Warriors with, Nova and I don't know if Firestar was going to be in it, but Squirrel Girl was going to be the lead character. And then they got rid of Hulu got done with Cloak and Dagger, and then they just said, "Nah, we're not going to get involved." And they got rid of Ghost Rider. They did the Hellstrom, unfortunately, and they backed out of Marvel completely.
Yeah, which is weird because Hulu's owned by Disney. So
yeah, right. The whole thing, none of it makes sense.
Because they had all those shows lined up, like they were doing that MODOK, and they were supposed to do the Ghost Rider show and all those other ones, and then we're not going to do it. It was like, we'll make the one that nobody cared about, the MODOK one.
Right.
Which everybody I've heard that even watched that thought it was terrible.
I made it through 2 episodes and I stopped.
Made it through 2 minutes and I stopped.
Did you? Yeah, the jerky camera was too much for me. I'm like, all right, I get it, but stop. I'll go back and watch more Robot Chicken if I want that. You know what I mean?
So there's Rich.
Well, okay, Rich. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Rich is our next closest to the 5-timers club.
He's just jealous because I'm here and he's not.
He came on 3 times in like a month and a half. Like he's on every 2 weeks. Like what show? MODOK. On Hulu, Rich. MODOK. Don't watch it.
See?
He's seething like justice.
I knew it.
So what does the 5-timers get, James? They get a patch or what?
I haven't decided. As I said, I'm probably going to have to design like a smoking jacket or something.
Or a no prize?
A no prize. The old Marvel no prize.
No prize.
When I was a kid, I actually thought that was a prize. I was like, I want a no prize. Why can't I get a no prize? That's when comic books were good. That's like something that's missing. Like they had that Marvel bullpen that was always in there, and the the letters pages and
editorials.
I would read
back in the day,
every
you could
letter.
Write in a letter.
Rich, yeah. Even today, like they still do the letters pages, but they're not like they used to be, and they're all like emailed stuff. And
so, who is it? Mike W. Barr, the guy that wrote the Batman and the Outsiders and stuff. I think that's how he got his start. Is he started submitting like letters, editorial letters, and they saw he wrote in so many times, or like gave him a shot or something like that. I remember him sharing that story. I thought it was pretty interesting.
There's a Did you ever any of you ever watch that Chris Claremont thing? I think it's on Hulu or something.
I think it's on Prime.
History of comics.
No, it's a Chris Claremont like documentary about his run in the X-Men and how like who was it? Was it Jim Shooter who just kept sending stuff to Marvel and sending stuff? He was like 16 and they just fired. They didn't even know he was 16 and they hired him.
Yeah.
And then they had him come to the office and he's like this 16-year-old kid. He had to like take a day off of school. So, like, and they're like, oh crap.
They Shooter did it, and I think who used to write the Legion of Superheroes, he did the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember who it was, but it was the same deal. They sent in a bunch of their own fanzines and stuff. So
yeah, and they hired him without even like meeting him, and he was this kid. Like,
I just wanted to say thanks for having me. I have the medical treatments I got to go do now, though.
That's fine. We're gonna wrap up just so I get everybody saying. Just let everyone know where they can find you, Jeremiah, and in the great interwebs of the world.
They can find me on Facebook under my name, or on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's Pathway CF Superhero.
All right. And Rich said that was DC Comics. I think the whole Legion of Superheroes, and it was Jim Shooter. So yeah, it was,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was because he was just this kid writing in stuff, and, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll hire you," and then they're like, we need you to come to New York. And he's like a 16-year-old kid. He's like, how am I going to go to New York? All right. Well, thanks for coming, Jeremiah. I'll make sure I share out everything again. And we'll go ahead and try to get – and you said that you're going to print like within a week, you said? Like next week? So, all right, that's awesome.
Really?
Katrina's like, this news to me.
Good night.
Well, I haven't seen the final files yet to go over, so
Jeremiah's a little eager to get stuff moving, but I can tell you the truer answer, I guess. His is pretty true, but yeah, I got to send back the final letters to the letterer, and then we should have them back by about Monday or Tuesday. Ms. Katrina will be giving them a second take, and then she'll give us the green stamp, and then they'll go to the press. So we should be going to the printer end of next week.
I would say, yeah.
And once it's there, let me know so I can let everybody know what's going on. So, Donovan, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody here where we can find you and follow you and see all your great arts of work.
I am all over because I'm lazy as hell. Facebook, just Donovan Petersen. I shove everything. That's the only thing I use it for, other than checking out what movie news, which there's been none, and what comic book news, which there's been a ton. But yeah, I'm just find me, friend me if you have to. I don't think I've privated anything, so that's where I shove everything. I'm on all the other ones, but honestly, I just copy and paste. So just my name, that's where I'm at. And then wherever Joseph puts me, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, sir. I like to tell everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Like Katrina, she likes to come and just hang out. That's why she's been on here for 5 times. And you're welcome to just come hang out, talk comics, have some fun. So thanks for stopping by. All right, Joseph A. Michael. Please tell me
you're dropping like flies, James.
No,
I know. See, he muted himself. I usually have this little gag where I try to cut people off while they're talking. Like I throw them off in the middle of a sentence, but he put
during the important plugs.
Yeah, just boom and kick you off. But your middle. I hope you have another first name, like Joseph, Adam, Michael, like Andrew. What is
Anthony?
Anthony. So good because. I was hoping you had 3 first names because I didn't want to be some like weird like Adam. I don't even know Adam is the name.
Who did Elon Musk? What's his kid's name?
Oh, I don't know. That's strange. Like I remember hearing that.
X35Z.
Yeah.
Something.
It sounds like a model number, not a.
Oh yeah, you can actually say it somehow.
Yeah. It actually is a word, like how we people like how they. Internet people like to use numbers for letters, and yeah, it's strange. It's just spelled.
I would so sue my parents.
Well, any of those celebrities, like how the Apple, Pear, Square. This is my baby. Their name's Triangle.
But I looked that up one day. Like in certain countries, there's like 10 or 15 names that are banned, right? And it varies by country. Like Australia has 5 or 10 that are unique that are banned. You can't name your kid one of those 5 or 10 names.
Mm-hmm.
And every country has like a different set of names that are banned. You can't even call your kid that if you wanted to.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder what they are in the United States.
Should we look them up? They might be vulgar.
I think that would be the only thing that they could, like, because literally people have, some strange names.
I think I heard somewhere that like Hitler is a band name.
I think so.
Oh, so you can't give your kid the first name Hitler?
Right.
Dang, there goes my plan.
Sorry.
Oh man, I found a good list by
Maybe try it as a
country.
middle name.
By country, the top names that are banned, and some of them might be vulgar, but I can share the few that aren't.
All right.
In America, Katrina, you got the one. Can't name yourself or can't name your kid Adolf Hitler. Also, you can't name your kid Messiah, Messiah.
And
Messiah.
no naming yourself the Second Coming.
You cannot
But
name
what
your
if
kid.
you were? Like, literally, if it was the
You're
second
just
time.
just gonna have to be more creative about it.
Never mind. Like, what if it was the second time that night, and that's when you were made? You the second.
Oh,
Okay. You cannot name your kid. You cannot name your kid 1069.
Oh,
Someone
but
in
you
North
can name
Dakota,
them 1068.
perhaps, I don't know. Someone in North Dakota tried to do that, and they wouldn't allow it.
I think there's a thing about naming your child numbers versus letters.
Well, how did Elon Musk sneak that one by?
Because he's not from America.
He's not American.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe wherever he's at, it's okay.
You cannot have accented names in California.
Oh.
Like Jose?
Yeah, or like Elodie with an accent on the E.
Okay.
All right.
In the United Kingdom, you cannot name your kid Monkey because it might be racist or insulting. So,
monkeys.
Malaysia, you cannot name your kid Chow Tao To.
Tao.
CHOWTOW.
Chow Tao? Chow?
It means smelly head.
Oh. Whereas you can name them Smelly Foot. That's okay.
Smelly butt. I don't know.
Yeah,
Any of those are fair game. Just not smelly head.
It's not smelly head.
In France, you cannot name your kid Nutella.
But that's really tasty.
I know.
Like, what if it's my favorite?
They had to change their kid's name to Ella because they voted that they couldn't name her Nutella. So
Nutella can't be Nutella.
This one's the first vulgar one. I guess it's on our list, unless Hitler's vulgar and Monkey's vulgar. But New Zealand. I don't know if I can say this on air. I will spell it. ANAL.
Anal. You can't name your kid Anal.
No anals?
No Anal.
Cannot name your kid Anal in New Zealand.
No.
Japan, it's Akuma because it means devil.
Oh,
Hakuna Matata.
All right, Katrina. Here's another one that has to do with symbols and numbers and stuff. You cannot use Roman numerals standing alone as a name in America.
Oh.
So like
So
I or IV
you can't
or
name your kid V1.
maybe there's a sneak like a hack or something. It could be like construed as a name.
VEEONE. It's
Yeah.
V1.
I spelled it out.
New Zealand number 11 is Tallulah. Does the hula from Hawaii?
That's a long name.
Tallulah, the hula from Hawaii.
Does the hula from Hawaii? Number 12. I'm just gonna skip. It's a racial slur. I'm gonna skip it, and it's in America. 13, Germany. Osama bin Laden. Not name your kid Osama bin Laden.
Which is weird because I'm sure there's more people in the world named Osama bin Laden besides Osama bin Laden.
Sure.
But would you want to be named that?
Well, it depends. I personally know, but there are probably people in the world who would be happy to be named Osama bin Laden.
This is a personal favorite of mine, and I don't know why it's banned. But in Mexico, you cannot name your kid RoboCop.
That seems like a perfectly legitimate name.
Right?
So I want to know, let's say you're born in America and your parents name you RoboCop and you move to Mexico.
When you move to Mexico, they're going to make you legally change.
You're going to have to legally change your name?
You have to have a localized version of RoboCop.
Right.
So I have to find out what that is.
Can you say, just make your name RoboCop in Mexican?
Yeah,
is that okay? Or does it have? Is the ban against RoboCop like in English?
Yeah,
can you just change it?
How do you say RoboCop in Spanish?
I have no clue.
It's probably RoboCop.
Yeah,
like if you ever watch,
Robo or something.
If you watch wrestling from Japan, like. I remember like Hulk Hogan was wrestling in Japan one time. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're doing Hulk Hogan." Like his name is still Hulk Hogan in Japan.
Name is still your name is your name.
Yeah. There's no naming your kid Santa Claus in the United States.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Don't know why, but that one was
because it would confuse all the other kids. Can you imagine going to school?
Say, I'm Santa Claus.
I'm Santa Claus, and they would just lose their crap.
Oh man, this is a good name. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it has racist undertones, perhaps. I don't know, but it sounds cool. Chief Maximus. In New Zealand, you can't name your kid Chief Maximus.
Sounds like a Transformer.
Or a Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
In China, you cannot name your kid the @ symbol. There's actually a pronunciation for the @ symbol. It's I-ta, I-ta. So no @ symbols.
No
All right, James, here's another one that you're talking about being pronounced in a foreign language exactly like the name sounds.
Yeah.
In Mexico, you can't name your kid Circumcision. And it looks like it's pronounced the same way.
What if you named it? What if his first name was Circum and his middle name was Cision?
I guess you can try to find out. I don't know.
I'm going to have to go to Mexico and just. I want to name my kid RoboCop Circumcision.
You'd be kicked out in a second.
No, you can't name him that. That name's like the devil.
Oh man, no naming your kid Metallica in Sweden.
Oh, they take all the fun out of it. Those Swedes.
Why turn that one down? Come on.
Maybe Metallica has issue with it. It's like
maybe
a
maybe the whole
band.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably it. They probably sued for copyright.
I have an interesting story related to that. As a Christmas present, my sister got me tickets to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers? Oh, they're awesome.
And so she thought she got tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh no!
And they were coming to Akron, and she goes, "Hey Joe, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are coming to Akron, and I got you tickets, and they're like front row at the Akron Civic Theater." I'm like, "Oh my God, why would they be coming to Akron Civic Theater? It's just a little regional theater." She's like, "And they were only $40. Isn't that amazing?" So I'm like,
that wasn't
true, right
there.
And as soon as it sounds too good to be true, you know what happens. So we go down there the day of the concert to get some Subway, pregame Subway.
Yeah.
Before we're gonna head, and I call over to the Akron Civic Theater. I'm like, "Hey, who's the opening act for the Red Hot Chili Peppers?" And the lady laughs and she goes, "You mean the Red Hot Chili Peppers?" And I'm like, I look at my sister. I'm like, they just said it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And my sister's laughing. She's like, oh, they're just playing a game with you. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Duh. And so I go, are you sure? And then I'm like, no, we're going to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And the lady, 100% serious, goes, you mean the Red Hot Chili Peppers? I'm like, okay, either this is like a super good prank, or I'm getting like pranked because I didn't know I was getting pranked. I didn't know who was pranking me. My sister.
You were getting pranked by someone.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, thank you very much. And I hang up the phone, and I'm like, man, I was like, I told my sister, I was like, she was very serious. She had like a stone face, like, this must be a super good prank. And I was like, can you look it up online? And my sister's like, no, it's Red Hot Chili Peppers. I guarantee it. She goes on her phone and looks it up, and her face just melts. She must have seen Red Hot Chili Peppers with the bags and everything like that.
They
goes,
bagpipers.
Yeah, they are. They do like rock and metal covers with bagpipes. They're really cool.
Would have been cool.
I had one of their CDs before I did my big CD purge.
She goes, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. She's like, what do you want to do? And by that time, I think we had just been sitting there trying to figure it out for so long that we would have been walking in like as the concert started. But long story short, we didn't even end up going to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So that's a heck of a Christmas present. We got all ready for this great night out at a concert, and then turned out to be a super double prank. And then the third prank was I didn't get to see any music at all. So.
Oh no!
Number 20.
They're really cool if you like bagpipes.
Do they have like the flames coming out of their bagpipes and all that?
I don't know.
Like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Yeah. Number 20, you said.
Number 20, last on our list. Katrina, you're going to appreciate this. It is the full stop. You cannot name your kid the full stop. Single period.
No period.
New Zealand couple try to name their kid a punctuation symbol, and the judge said no way.
No semicolon either.
Oh, that reminded me of a joke. Do you know, like when you use a colon, it can totally change the way a sentence is. How what a sentence means. So, like, I'm trying to think of the sentence. See, my brain just fried. I'm going to ruin it. But anyways, it's supposed to be like, I really like to eat pizza. Or you could say, I really like to eat colon. See, so colon can really change the meaning of a sentence.
True. I have a joke. This is one Katrina gave me.
Uh-oh.
She edited a copy of Center Ice. And there's a part in there where the villain, he's kind of like Mr. or Dr. Wily from Mega Man. So he's kind of eccentric. And there's a scene apparently where I have him show up with a bag of popcorn. And he's all mad because goalie's getting beaten or something like that, and he's throwing his popcorn. So I say, Mr. I is wailing his arms in protest. The popcorn goes flying. And then Katrina's note is, what popcorn?
What popcorn? There was no mention of popcorn anywhere.
It just appeared. There's magically appeared.
Magically, he has popcorn and he's flinging it.
only scene in the book magically has popcorn in the pink.
Magically, popcorn appears. Don't worry, that is not the word. That is not the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a book.
It was off panel the whole time.
Well, I mean, there's, I'm looking at the script and there's just no mention of popcorn. So the artist isn't going to draw popcorn because there's no popcorn. I did a novel once where the characters walk into a room and they're faced with a goddess. And when they first walk into the room and she's all the way across the room on her throne. Next paragraph, she's standing right in front of them. And then she's back across the room. I was like, what? Unless she's like got some kind of magical teleportation thing going, you really should either have her move or not move. Like, Why is she bouncing across with no explanation?
Sounds like The Ring or something like that, where they do like the visual effects and the character like flashes to the left, flashes to the right.
Like that thing where they come up the hallway, how they're like here and then they're here and then
like, well, that's kind of what I was seeing in my head, and I'm like, no, that's really not what should be happening in this very serious scene.
All right. Well, we can continue the conversation backstage. I'm going to end the show so everyone else can have some fun and I can like get off here. But so let everyone know who is maybe still around watching us where they can find you, Joe.
So heroesforcauses.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook and I think Instagram, although we don't have much posts on Instagram, but that's where they can find out about Center Ice if they're interested in cystic fibrosis and the Pathway Project. And then hopefully we'll be announcing a new project if we can get our nonprofit partner lined up. So all of these will kind of collect as the, causes-based superhero team. Think of like a Fantastic Four or an X-Men. So we're trying to keep it, sensitive to all the causes that we represent and true to the causes. And, hopefully we'll be able to bring in a diverse, character cast moving forward. So.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, if you want to hang out in the back, we'll be back there in a bit. So let me take you back. Yep. There's Katrina and her book.
It's me.
And you're almost getting ready to send it to be printed?
I am working on doing the final proof. And waiting for Eric to finish my cover. Really, we have the cover done, but I added pages. So he needs to double check that we don't need to redo the spine of the book. Yeah. Because it's a 14-page difference. So we need to run it through the calculator and check it and all that. And I don't know the dimensions, so he does. So I'm waiting for him. But his goal for this week was to get his office set up. So hopefully next week, we'll be getting stuff sent in. And I've sent out all of the surveys. They have gone out. So if you're somebody who has pledged to it, please make sure your survey is filled out. Most of them have been, which is I'm thrilled.
I you sent me the nice beta one, and I had all those problems.
Oh yeah, you were in the first group, and then Did you get it fixed? Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is my very first batch, and he goes, yeah, it's not working.
Yeah, it wasn't working. I don't remember what it was doing.
Thanks, Kickstarter.
Well, for some reason, a lot of times if I do them on my phone, and when you go to enter your email address, like a lot of like an autofill, so I'll start filling it, and it'll come, and I'll click on all right, there's my email address, and I'll go send it, and something will go wrong. So that's why I'm like, I better go to my computer and do it. And I did it here, and it still didn't go. And I was like, all right, now there's something wrong.
She broke it.
She broke Kickstarter.
She's the only person in the history of Kickstarter to not be able to send out a survey properly.
All right, so.
But so they're going out, and we're rolling along. Like I said, we had a delivery date for the print stuff of September, and I think we're going to beat that.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
I'm waiting to read it. So, obviously, Katrina is everywhere.
I am everywhere. It's true.
Katrina wrote because she writes.
People think I'm at a baseball game, but I'm really not. Look, or maybe I am.
Well, you're beside somebody with a baseball hat on, so you're close.
Maybe I'm in both places.
Maybe you're actually in your luxury suite at the ball game.
Right. Yes.
Streaming from there.
Yeah, they need to do some work on it. It's kind of a mess.
All right. Well, I will thank you for coming on in very short notice and joining everybody tonight.
It was fun. It's the first time I've ever seen anybody like face to face. Well, so it was fun.
Screen to screen.
Yeah, screen to screen.
All right. Well, again, thank you for coming on, and obviously you're welcome to come back anytime.
I gotta hold off Rich.
Yep, you got it, because I'm sure he'll be ready to come back on soon. I mean, he was in the comments. I was waiting for him to try to jump on. But
try to sneak his way in.
But all right. Thanks for coming, Katrina, and us. Good night. All right, everybody. That was our great show tonight as we talked to the guys from Heroes for Causes and their books, Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Center Ice. So I dropped the link in the chat, and I will make sure to tag it in all the things. Go out and check them, donate to the American Cancer Society, or help them if you donate on their page, it'll help them fund the books. So check that out. And next week, so far, I don't have any guests, so it might be an open mic week. We'll see what's going on. If anyone out there is watching the show and you have something that you'd like to come on and talk about, be sure to get a hold of me this week, and we'll get you on. But until then, this is JW. This is my Hangout. Let's go out there, read some comics, support some of the creators. Obviously, we have cons coming back. I know I have some friends at cons this week, so get out there and check out their stuff and support them. And, like whenever you support these creators, this awesome thing happens. You get more comics. So get out there, have fun, be safe. Love you guys.